The railway along here is probably one of the most scenic in Australia. It hugs the coast right along, and obviously the drivers have a fantastic view from their cab window. I can hear the first train for each day arriving into Burnie from my house where I live. And I'm what you call an average train spotter. I've been train spotting seriously for about 30 years now. I'm not a rivet counter. Some people, they want to see every working part of a train. I go for more postcardy, calendar type shots. You also hear people talk about foamers. I get really excited when you see a train, so you foam around the mouth. I tend to stick with a train spotter. It's very much a British-based thing. Here it comes. So we'll see what we've got here. It's actually going quite quickly, unusually. Good mix of 40-foot containers. Yeah, he'll head through to Devonport now. But that particular train we had today had TR01 on the front, which is what we call the class leader. Grew up with trains. I lived in Hobart in Berrydale. The train line went right down the front of our house. We used to go down and play as kids down behind the Berrydale station, sort of in my blood. My parents also had an interest. Dad particularly was into ships. My wife, she's very accepting of the interest. Actually, she doesn't have any choice. I'll quickly depart and say I can hear something down there. I'll be back in half an hour. 3 hours later, I'm back. The railway between Burnie and Deloraine, it's spectacular. It's the cuttings, the hills behind, the bush, the farmlands, built 150 years ago. It's a freight-only railway these days, unfortunately, and there's certainly a lot of support to run passenger trains again. The Tasman Limited, which ran almost daily between Hobart and Wynyard, started in the mid-1950s. The last train ran in July 1978. A lot of people rode that, and the memories are still quite vivid. One of the world's great scenic rides. When I was living in Hobart, my grandparents had a farm near Wynyard. We used to travel from Hobart on the Tasman Limited. I'd love to go back.
Burnie, a steady stream of motorists also drove past the Burnie station to get a final glimpse of one of the state's best-known transport services.
The way the trains just curl and twist around the foreshore and through the towns. The trains these days are quite a bit longer than what they used to be back in the 70s, and there's 2 level crossings in Penguin and the whole train can cut the town in half. People really take notice of trains then because it's literally in their backyard, and of course the main street of Penguin's full of cafes, and some of those cafes you can almost reach out and touch the train as it went by. At night time you can hear them appreciate the communities by shorter toots or softer toots, and quite often during the daytime be an extra toot or two for kids waving or if the driver has an audience. The road parallels the railway line between Penguin and Ulverstone, and so close that the ballast literally rolls onto the side of the road, and a group of bikies paralleling the train, trying to keep up with the train. I've done it myself. In more recent years, Tasrail have been running a Christmas train. It's become very, very popular. A lot of people turn out to see the Christmas train. The trains that pass through all these smaller communities have a storybook quality to it. You'll get surfers with their cars parked right up next to the railway line. They walk over the track. Kids, they'll drop everything and rush over to the fence and wave to the train. One of the great appeals is the old coast road, which really hugs the coastline, Penguin through to Ulverstone. The sheer rock cuttings, the amount of work that must have gone into those rock cuttings to get that railway through, twists and winds like a railway should do. Part of waiting for the train is the anticipation of the approach of the train. You might hear it toot. You can hear the rumble of the wheels and the vibration and the echo of the surrounding hills. So you know it's getting closer, and then it just appears from out behind the tree, and that's what you've been waiting for. But that's all part of the art of chasing the trains.